Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from Inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again today for today's video for the Stamp Around the World video hop. The video today has lots of links in the description available, so if you just click underneath, press more to see all those other links to other demonstrators projects on YouTube. Please do like, subscribe, share, and give them some support. That would be brilliant. This is a lovely community. We want to try and help each other grow our channels. So today's theme is metals or metallics. So I've gone straight to the heat embossing and created quite a simple card just to let that embossing show by creating just a simple background and a matching sentiment, a bit of bling here and there as well. Okay, so this is Pretty Peacock with the gold embossing over the top, which is really pretty, very regal. And Pretty Peacock is one of the regals. So we're featuring Extraordinary Flora. This is a fantastic bundle. We're just using the stamp set today, but there are dies to cut out this large image, and there is also the beautiful washi tape that coordinates this as well. So that's what we're using, and we're going to go with silver, and we're going to use Night of Navy with a pop of the Melon Mambo. On here I've used a little bit of Summer Splash just to sort of bring another little bit of a lift of colour. So a few little bits that I've done ahead of time. Navy card base, and this is the two-tone cardstock. Okay, we're going to use the dark side just to sort of create our background, and that's just so that we don't end up with a warped card front. It could go straight on the card, but I think it's always best to use a layer. So what I'm going to do is use some anti-static powder on there. So we'll just coat that like so. So you don't want to be handling it, so use the little baggie that it comes with just to hold on to that. So now we've got that, we'll need the tweezers, and we've got silver embossing powder. So I just write on the top, because I store them in a drawer, polished silver it's called, and there's a set of 3 of the metallics that we can that you can purchase. Oops, a daisy. And because we're embossing, we need to use our Versamark ink. Now I'm being a bit naughty in that I've got this, I'm using the E block just because it's easier to hold than an F block. So this stamp is a little long for it, but we're only stamping that middle portion, so it's not going to be too much of a bother. But what I am going to do is stand up so that I can apply some nice even pressure across there, and we're just going to line that up. So my voice went a bit louder then, that's because I'm closer to the microphone. So nice firm pressure. You should be able to see that it's made a good contact. Okay, don't touch your cardstock. Now if you have trouble seeing it, now I can see in the light where that ink is. Don't know whether, yeah, see? So if you catch it in the light, you'll be able to see where you've stamped. Okay, but if you can't, chuck your powder on, and then you'll be able to see exactly where it is, and then you can heat emboss it afterwards. So this is a slow drying ink. Will dry eventually, but slow drying, so we've got time to do this second layer. So let's just pop that one in there. Could have twizzled it round. You can use strips and just do that as well. That would be nice actually. Right, so now we've got that stamped. We'll make sure we've got hold of it with some tweezers. So I'm just shining it in the light to see where there's a point where I can grab this without it covering the design too much. And we'll bring in the tidy tray and the powder, and we'll just chuck that on. So I sort of chuck it at the top and then sort of let it sort of fall over the top of the design as it falls down. Just want to make sure everything's coated though, so just go over any bits that you think need a bit of extra, sometimes at the edge. And just tap off any excess. Now I'm not going to worry too much if there's the odd speck or two where it shouldn't be on this particular background. But obviously depending on the project you might want to just make sure that everything's as you want it. Okay, so I just want to put these tweezers in a position where I can have a good grip of this. That'll be fine. Gonna pop this away before it ends up somewhere else. There we go. So I just keep all that stuff in the tray so I can just pull it out, and then I'm going to bring in the embossing tool. Okay, so I'll try and show you in the light, but as you can see this is really dull at the moment, and as soon as we heat it it'll turn into a lovely shiny surface. So the heat gun's going to be quite loud. Those of you who like listening to the white noise, please do so. If not, mute now, and I'll be back in a minute when it's all done. So there we go, all beautiful and shiny now. Okay, so that just needs to cool down for a moment. This is the a little thinner than regular cardstock, so it heats very quickly, and you'll get that lovely embossing on there. So just leave that to cool just for a moment. So we've got our card base. For our sentiment then, I did exactly the same, stamped in Versamark and just stamped that congratulations. That's in the same stamp set as the florals. Okay, and we're going to just cut a little banner shape into this little bit of melon mambo. So I'm just going to cut into the middle and then from the corners to the middle to create that banner. Okay, it's only subtle, but it's there. Oops. And then I want to have this piece of silver foil adhered over the top, but I want it to be a little shorter than that, so we're just going to take off that much, and we'll just do it at a little jaunty angle there, just for something different. So we can just add that with some seal, and we'll pop that right at the end there. And on this one I've decided to let the pink kind of frame this, so it's sort of poking out each side, and then we're going to add our sentiment over the top. The pink's going to just about peek over the top, but not by much. So a couple of dimensionals on there to secure that. Towards this end, so we've just got those little hints of colour coming through. Okay, so this is nice and cooled down now, so we'll be able to apply this to our card base with some seal. I'm just going to put a little extra on because the heat will warp it slightly, just as it dries it out, and then we'll layer that onto the card front. So you don't want that, obviously, that warping, you know, that would be your card front if you did it straight onto the card, which is why I like to do it onto a layer, and then just make sure it's all nice and adhered down. So got our sentiment, which is just going to be super cute just there. Do want to add a little bit of texture with some of this metallic trim, so we'll grab a length of that and tie that into a bow. Ooh, it's a funny material this is. It's like it's not a fabric, it's got that sort of metallic sort of thread going through it, which makes it a little stiffer, almost like what's it like, you know, like the stuff you get to wrap presents, that kind of stuff. It feels a bit like that. So it's a bit of a finicky thing to mess with, but I think that will do. And it's, you can sort of manipulate it a little bit as well. So we'll just cut those ends. And we'll use a glue dot to secure that. This just needs a bit of tape. And then it's sort of a, actually, I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to put this towards the top. Still the rule of thirds almost, because I've popped the other one down there, but I'm going to pop this one towards the top. Sorry, my brain was just thinking just for a moment then. I went very quiet, didn't I? I want that to be straight though. That looks straight. I think it's straight. Okay. We can just pop our little bow detail underneath. I put used the ribbon in a different way on the sample and I wasn't 100% happy with it, so we're going with this instead. You do you, of course, so just gonna pop that there and then stick the bow over the top. There we go. Make that tail do what I need it to, and then just fluff that up. That's a technical term, fluffing up. And then the embellishments are these lovely what do they call them, glittered sparkle gems. That's it. These are on Last Chance now, and I've been meaning to use them for ages, and now that they're on Last Chance, I've found a project to use them on. So obviously used the gold ones on the other one. I've got some cute black ones as well there. So as ever, I'm just going to use an odd number of these to finish this off. Give it some sparkle. Okay, I think we've met the brief with metallics there. Okay, I think that's really cute. Just switching that around a little bit with a different colourway. Isn't it cute? Okay, bit of a pop of pink there as well. This is the original with the Pretty Peacock in gold. So, which is your favourite? Which is your favourite? Now, of course, we've got the copper powder as well. Would look great with Cajun Craze or something like that. And the leaves all sort of lend themselves to that kind of thing as well. So obviously you can play with that and maybe even use some of the other embossing powders for a non-metallic feel. Okay, so that's it for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. It's given you some ideas. Do please click on the more down below and hop through everybody else's videos as well. I'm sure they'll have lots of ideas for you, and lots of inspiration. Thanks so much. Stay safe, take care. See you soon. Bye.